Hello guys, Gabriel here from Better AMS. Hope you're doing well. So I wanted to record this video since a long time ago, and I'm really excited to talk about placements and how you can navigate increase by placements depending on the category. It'll be a very fun video, so stay tuned. What I'll do here, because I'm already here on the placements tab, basically if you click on a sponsored products campaign and then you go to placements, you'll get displayed these breakdown of how each placement is doing. But I want to take a few steps back and go to the Amazon.com site to first show you what are we talking about, right? What are the basics of all of these numbers that you see over here? So if we go to the Amazon search results section, I just made a search for disposable coffee cups. And I just want to make you aware of what ad type we're talking about here, because the increase by placement is not available on sponsored brands. There is a tool that can help you decrease your bid for the top of search headline ad, but it isn't breaking down as good as the sponsored products placements are. So whereas what the ad type we're specifically talking about today is the ad type that typically mix with organic results. Okay, so these over here, these three, mix really good with all of these four here, because they're all appearing on search results, but these are sponsored products and these are not, right? These are organic results. As you scroll down on the page, we will see some other sponsored products placements that mix really well with the organic results. As you can see here, we got two sponsored products placements and then one organic and then another this is a different placement from Amazon over here, featured from our brands. But as you can see, when you make a search, these sponsored products placements will mix with organic results, and there will be some that come at the top, right? So Amazon is showing three sponsored products placements at the top for the keyword disposable coffee cups. So it's a very relevant placement. It's a very important placement. Actually, if we look at our agency data, around 80% of sales come from sponsored products. So if there is an ad type that you need to prioritize, if there is an ad type you need to make a deep dive on, it's definitely sponsored products. Okay, so now that you're aware of this ad type on search results, let me show you what it looks like on within product detail pages. Okay, so let's go here and open this guy over here really quick, and we will see that as we scroll down, we'll see some sponsored display, but that's a different ad type. We're discussing here sponsored products, so stay with me. These are sponsored products results, okay? These are sponsored products results within the product detail page. There are usually at least two carousels. So here's the second one, and then we got no more carousels on this product detail page. But we usually see up to three, sometimes two. That's fine, but those two carousels I showed you are sponsored products placements, okay? So now let's go back to the Amazon advertising console to kind of interpret the data let's interpret the data now that we have some context on where our ads are going to display. Okay, so we got here top of search, first page, and here are the results. Okay, so top of search, first page would be these three ad types over here. Okay, as simple as that. That is top of search. Something that comes up right after the video, that's not top of search. That's called rest of search. Okay, so you can show up on the first page, but not necessarily be top of search. Okay, because these guys showing over here, these are the top of search, but these people showing up where the video was, these two guys here, they're not top of search. They're rest of search. Okay, so they are. If we would need to split them, the first three ASINs would go on top of search, and the other would go on rest of search. Now, here's where I want you to follow me, because we're looking at desktop results, and on desktop we usually get served at least 3 to 4, most of the time 4, sometimes 3 sponsored products results. But on mobile, where lots of purchases happen these days, the chances to show up top of search, it's probably just one. So it has become more important to win that top of search, and to make sure that most of your impressions, most of your clicks, most of your sales are coming through that top of search section. Now, this doesn't really apply the same way for all categories, and I'm going to explain why. So the reason these don't apply the same to all categories is because it depends on what is the customer journey to get to your product, and what are the actions the customer takes in order to find your product. So let me explain, because usually we will hear, or it's pretty common to hear, that you want to set an increase by placement of 100%, 50%, 20% to show up at the top of search, because that's where the majority of the sales happen, right? But what happens if you're selling a product just like the disposable coffee cups, right? For a product like this one, it would depend if there's a man searching or there's a woman searching, because I myself, if I would be looking for disposable coffee cups with my partner, we wouldn't probably buy the cheapest, right? We would want to look for the more appealing disposable coffee cups, right? That's just who we are. So I don't need to go ahead and see that first. Like I'm immediately discarding some of these, but maybe once I see maybe this one over here, it looks more appealing to me, that's probably the one I'm gonna pick, right? But that wasn't clicked on top of search. So it's not the norm, but it's something we have to be very, very aware of, because probably you don't really need to show up top of search. You just need to make sure that you're showing on both top of search and rest of search, and then the data will tell you where you are going to perform best, right? But it's important that you understand that top of search might not be the solution to all of your sales problems. There might be something related to the product. There might be something related to how the customer navigates the category, how they scroll through search results. So take all of those things in count, because I just mentioned how important it is to come up at the top of search consistently, since on mobile we get way less chances than we do on desktop. So to keep the balance on both sides the same, I've just talked about how important it is to show up at the top of search, because we're not taking in context that on mobile this is reduced to 1 or 2 sponsored products results instead of 3 or 4, and taking account that depending on your category, these can change a lot. Like, it's really subjective to what the customer is looking for, to what they want to get, to what is more appealing to them, because what's appealing to me might not be appealing to the other person, depending on the, maybe it's an executive kind of thing, or it's a man's birthday and they like this color palette. They're gonna definitely go with these, and they are showing on rest of search, not necessarily on top of search. I would recommend probably that guy runs a sponsored products hat, not being really aggressive, but maybe showing off at least twice so that he can build that kind of hypnosis on, oh, this is the one you gotta pick. Okay, now we have scrolled through the results talking about that. Let's go to what would be the best move over here. This data is just basically a sample of data that I pulled from a random ad account, from a random campaign, to just look at how this campaign is going, and what is the performance of this campaign, and what would I do if I would start to optimize this campaign. This campaign particularly has had a different goal than ranking on top of search. We have several keywords on this campaign. It's a keyword. As you can see, it's a campaign from a long time ago that we have not paused. It's just a campaign that we've been kind of maintaining. because it brings in sales, right? So we have maintained it. But there are some moves that we could dive on here. So let's take a look at a few things here. Top of search has a way higher click-through rate than their two other placements here, product pages and rest of search. You might ask me, what is product pages? Well, product pages is just what we talked about earlier. Product pages are the carousels that you see within product detail pages. So as you can see, click-through rate there, it's pretty low. Click-through rate is basically the amount of people that clicked on your item versus the total impressions it got. So the people that actually visited product detail pages from product pages, it's extremely low. And the CPC, you can see it's pretty similar from one placement to another when we look at both how the ad spend has been going and how the sales have been going. So interesting, right? Now let's take a look at what matters most, because what matters most is what we're gonna see just now. So sales are around 70% of sales are coming. Well, no, that's probably a 65%. 65% of sales are coming from the top of search at a very healthy ACoS. These are cash flow positive sales. That's what they are. And the ROS is pretty cool as well. Then the other two placements, product pages and rest of search, are, I would say, performing break-even ACoS. They're making sales. But the thing here is to identify where there's opportunity. So there is opportunity for an increase by placement on this particular campaign. The thing is, it's kind of old, so we don't really need to make that move right now because we have several other campaigns that are performing. But the move here would be to go ahead and increase the placement by a 10-20% and start to measure the results on whether conversion gets better, because we're consistently showing more at top of search than we do on product pages or on rest of search. Unfortunately, we don't have the chance yet or the opportunity to go ahead and pause product pages and rest of search to make this campaign top of search only. I think that's definitely going to come in the future. But for now, the idea here would be, okay, definitely looking at the placements, there is a better chance for us to make money and to generate more sales on top of search than on product pages and rest of search. So my move here is going to be to set a placement increase so we can prioritize these placements. Now, if we want to get more granular, there is people. This is not a common practice on my end or at Better AMS. There's people that will go ahead and reduce their bids and then set a placement increase for the placement they want to show up the most, just because they want to avoid getting impressions on other placements. Now, product pages isn't doing bad, but as you can see, it's got way more traffic than top of search does. So it's important you take that in account because you want to drive relevant traffic to your products. And here, there's lots of irrelevant traffic going towards the listing or listings. So it's important you take that in account, okay? So that's all I wanted to cover on placements. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your questions, and let me know how you're taking advantage of them. Take care and talk soon. Ciao.